Welcome to Everyday Knitter. This is week 2 of the Texture Pop Blanket KAL. I'm just going to chat for a little minute just while a few people join. Just say hello to a few people. Morning. Thank you for joining. Substack's really weird. You set yourself up with a kind of, I'm going to go live. And then all of a sudden it just goes, you're live, you're talking to the internet, which is a bit of a daunting prospect. So I'm not actually going to think about that too much. And one thing I have learned about myself from doing this is that I can't do my spatial awareness. It's terrible. In fact, my left and my right is when I see it, it's the wrong way around, and it confuses the heck out of me. So if I look a little bit confused, that's probably why. Morning. It's just gone 11 o'clock. My cunning plan was to have this as a kind of 11s slot. At some point, I will try and get the hang of scheduling these. But at the minute, the only way I can find to schedule is if you have an iPhone, and I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android, which isn't terribly useful. So I can say in advance that I'm going to be alive. But if you have an iPhone, you get to be able to make like a little calendar slot, and then it goes into people's calendars, and they can be reminded. But I can't seem to figure out how to do that at the minute for us lowly Android users. So never mind. We will go with what we've got. So good morning. I feel like I'm doomed to start these with apologies. I'm British. What can I say? We start meetings with apologies, don't we? It's just what we do. But I do have to apologise this week because there were a couple of errors in the pattern that was sent out originally. And as a designer and a knitter, we all hate errors, don't we? It's just so annoying. I know it's human nature. We're all human. Mistakes happen. But it's apologies. You should have the correct version now. It should have version 1.1 on the file that you've got. If it doesn't, then let me know. But essentially, when I knit this ages and ages ago, I did it with a stitch count of 200, with 180 stitches between the central panel was 180 stitches. And so the stitch counts for each panels 1 to 9, sometimes needed a bit of adjusting to work with 180 stitches. And then when I decided to do this as a knit along, I wanted to make it slightly narrower. So I went with a cast on of 180, which is 160 stitches in the central panel. And the document you got should have been the one that was corrected for the stitch count, and it wasn't. So apologies for that. But you should have it now. Obviously, if you make the blanket, if you decide to go larger, wider, whatever, narrower, that's entirely up to you. What I have done in the new document is I've just made sure that each panel has the stitch count for each pattern so that you can adjust it if you need to. So just so you're aware. So anyway, I think I've cast on, and it's at that kind of stage at the minute where it's just a very long string, very unphotogenic string. But I'm really liking the yarn anyway, and I know I've seen a few of your cast-ons as well. There's a lady who's doing a lovely one with like a duck egg blue, which is beautiful. That's one of my favourite colours. I love that. So it's nice to see people casting on, and that's great. If you haven't cast on, it's absolutely fine. We can just do it whenever. You don't have to do it now. You can just kind of watch as we go and knit it at another time. That's absolutely fine. But it's been nice to see what people are up to. And there's week 2, amazingly. So I'm looking down because I've got my previously knitted sample on my lap. And again, I apologise because when I hold it up, I'm kind of like peering at it, trying to work out how to get it closer to you so that you can see. And it doesn't show up terribly well in this light. It's the stitch pattern this week is chevrons. So like it's makes little arrow shapes all the way along. But it's really hard to show with the light we have at the minute. If you're in the UK like I am, which I'm guessing at 11 o'clock, if you're tuning in, you probably are. But a grey February day in the UK is, you feel like you're living in a bit of a cave. Light levels are appalling. And doesn't matter how many daylight lamps you have placed around the place, it's really hard to show true colours of anything. Um, just as an aside, I had to laugh. I saw a thing on, I think it was on Threads the other day, and it was talking about the importance of wearing SPF, sun protection factor. And it was this comment. It was obviously written by somebody who lived not in the UK, but it was kind of like, everybody should be wearing factor 50 all the time. They should be reapplying it every 2 hours, regardless of where you are, what you're doing. If you're in the car, if you're in the house, you should have SPF 50 on. And, and she was absolutely adamant that that applied to everybody. And I was like, have you been to the UK? Have you been to the UK in February? I really don't think you have. Today I would turn the camera around, but that will confuse the heck out of me. But I'm looking out at a sky that has all the colour of a pile of wet towels, and it is actually like walking around in cloud. I think the cloud level is so low today that it is just grey and misty. And if any UV light gets through there, then good luck to me, quite frankly. So yeah, and I love SPF as much as the next person, although I probably do need to wear more of it. But I think SPF 50 on a day like this is probably really pushing it a little bit. Anyway, all that to say, we're now on to week 2, which is a nice, relaxing chevron pattern. So hopefully people are going to find that quite straightforward. As I say, it's just knit and purl. There's nothing complicated about it at all. And then hopefully you'll start to get into the rhythm of how the pattern works, the sort of little stocking stitch bit, a little bit of garter, then that panel, whatever that week is. So this week is obviously panel 1. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. Before I go, I do want to show you my emotional support chicken because I am so pleased with it. Here it is. Here she is. Hang on, move it that way. There we go. So this is, if you haven't seen this pattern before, it's on Ravelry. I can put the link in the in the post before it goes out. It's the emotional support chicken. I tried knitting it once before, and I was under the naive impression that the emotional support came from knitting the chicken. It doesn't. It's as patterns go, it's not the clearest pattern in the world, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it to beginners. You do have to kind of there's a little bit of kind of, but not fudging it, but a little bit of guesswork and a few assumptions made about perhaps levels of ability, particularly if you're not confident with short rows. And I don't mind short rows, but you do have to pay attention. So I tried knitting it once before at a time when I really wasn't paying that much attention, and it all went horribly wrong. It was the most lopsided chicken you've ever seen. So I ripped it all out, I got rid of it. I was very cross with the chicken. But I decided I had so many people talking about them, and I've seen so many lovely examples that I really wanted to give them a go. So, yeah, this is my emotional support chicken. I haven't given it a name yet. It's blind still at the minute. I haven't put any eyes on it. So yeah, I need to do that. I have knit the what do you call it? Wattle. That's the word. I have done the wattle, and I've got to do the comb on the top, so I need to do that. But I did stuff it, and I did manage to get it looking reasonably plump. So the emotional support comes from the cuddling of the chicken, not the actual knitting of the chicken. But yeah, I've done it, and I'm really pleased. And I think there may well be a few more emotional support chickens in my future. Who knows? I've seen some really nice ones of people doing stripes and different colours. So yeah, we'll give it a go. But if you think of a name for my chicken, then let me know. That would be that would be nice. So yeah, that's it. Short and sweet. I just wanted to pop on, say hello, give you a little bit of support if you're yeah, if you're knitting along, and if you've got any questions, obviously just pop them as a comment below this post, and I can answer them, or just pop me a DM or whatever. But yeah, hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.